G'day, Ross Symons here. I'm the CEO of Big Ant Studios. The short story of the long story is, I used to sneak out my bedroom window, get down to the Frankston pub and play Pong. And essentially, what would happen there is, if you won 20 cents. You know, drumsticks were 6 cents, minimum chips was 5 cents. I was winning 20 cents probably every 3 or 4 minutes. So it was a good lurk, very good lurk. And that got me started, a taste.
Welcome to the biggest contest in cricket, the Ashes.
We're nerdy guys that like sport. So essentially, it's that crossover. You need to have a passion for sport, or I think you really couldn't do it. It's something that if you didn't like it, it'd show very quickly.
Huge shot, got it, yes. Big appeal. Oh yeah.
I'm Mike Merren, I'm the Development Director here at Big Ant Studios, which basically means that I look after everybody back here and make sure, hopefully, that they get a product out on time and to a good quality. I've been making games for 30 years now, so it's been a while. Working here, I've got a passion for sport. Always been into whatever sport there is that I could pick up a ball or a racket or kick it, whatever I'm into. So to be working just on sports games is a dream come true. Because I've got a passion for that, trying to see whether or not I can get the sport into a game and make it fun for everybody, that's always the great thing.
As we're passionate about sport, we know that people are buying games are passionate about their sport. So if we do a good enough job, then we know that they'll come back, and they'll come back next year and next year and next year. So it's a great relationship to have with customers, where essentially we're giving them something that is current, something that they want. And a lot of the Australian sports are niche, but we know it's a passionate niche.
That's massive. What a shot. Good batting from these two. Partnership.
It's an interesting thing to try and do because it's outside influences as well. So you've got not just us trying to get the game finished, but you've got whether players change clubs, whether you've got uniforms approved, all those kind of things still need to be completed and get right. Otherwise the public go, well, hang on, that's last year's stuff. So you need to make sure you're as up to date as you can be.
We probably have 1/10 of the budget on games, sometimes 1/20 of the budget, and we supply what I would say 80% of the product. So, and that's a realistic thing. I'll never say to somebody, this is FIFA. Our games are not FIFA. We're making a custom game for a custom audience. And like anything that's custom, its qualities are in the things that they want. So, one of the best parts actually about the job is if you're into sport, the amazing thing is we get to meet the best of the best. So when we do rugby league, we meet every single player of the rugby league. They all have to come in and get their photos done in 3D. Some of them will get motion captured. And the fantastic thing is that we got buy-in from them. Most of the time they'll come in, like a Kokonakis will come in here, and he'll sit there beside himself, jumping out of his skin going, I can't believe I'm in a video game. So it's actually one of the best parts of the job is they want to be there, they want to be in it, and they can't wait to see themselves in it. The motion capture is pretty much like motion capture you'd see anywhere in a Hollywood studio. Guys put a black suit on, dots all over it so the cameras can see it, and then they're surrounded by 720 megahertz, 1400 megahertz cameras. So they're shooting at 1400 frames a second and stuff like that. And then that's knitted together in an animation sense, that's knitted together in 3D. The great thing about sport is it's evolving, and we need that. You need evolution in sport. We need evolution in games, and so it helps us. And in a commercial sense, it helps us as well, because games get dated when they don't have things, and there are reasons to update. So if the sport has evolved and become better, then the game should become better as well. eSports is it's a phenomenal growth. And definitely we're kind of in the eye of the storm. You know, we sort of create the games and out they go, and we don't know what happens next. The interesting thing with locally is the AFL clubs are trying to find their way. And certainly, you know, Cricket Australia, Tennis Australia and all those guys are looking seriously at eSports. And be mad if you didn't, because it is growing at such a rate and it is quite phenomenal. And so if you don't embrace it or become part of it, then you are going to be left behind. It's early days for them, and they kind of don't know what they're buying, in a sense, because you're buying a stable of players and a team, but you know, it's early days for Australia. Yeah, gameplay is king, right? So gameplay is king, and content is secondary, but unfortunately now the way that marketing works with games is there's a minimum weight test in terms of there has to be a minimum amount of content. So you might have the best playing game there ever was, but there is a minimum amount of content for you to get it out. And that minimum amount of content is raising and raising and raising. So career modes, for example, need to have depth. And every day we're asked for, can we have cutscenes of managers telling players what they did right or wrong in a career mode? Now that would cost way more than the budget for an entire game just to do that sort of stuff. So gameplay is king, but we're competing with content and graphics. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's very, very tough to do what we do on the budget that we have. My fear is that with a lot of these niche games is that they run out, you know, that no one makes them anymore. And the issue with that is my kids can name the soccer players around the world. They're not interested in sport too much, but they can name all the soccer players, they can name most of the basketball players, and it's because of games. And if other sports, particularly niche ones, don't do that and get left behind, in a marketing sense, you know, they're going to FIFA-ise the world. Everyone will know everybody in the Premier League. They won't know anyone local.